Hey everybody! Wow, it feels like I've been abroad for this amount of time. I've still been here, just extremely busy. I gotta say, people who work, go to school, and have a family, I have so much respect for you because I'm having a hard time just managing school and work. I can't even imagine if I had kids at this point trying to do it all because I'm barely keeping caught up on everything. So I got a few minutes this morning, and yesterday I tried to do a video on my phone, but I guess I didn't have enough memory. But anyway, I got a few minutes this morning before I have to head off to work. And anyway, so yesterday while I was working, I was thinking about how vocabulary has changed over the years. And for example, I know my parents back in their day would say how the term geek, nerd was an insult to the geeks and the nerds. And think about it today. The geeks, the computer geeks, the tech geeks, the geeks and the nerds really are the ones who control this world because everything is run by computers now. If the computer system fails, who do you call? You don't call some football player or basketball player to come fix it. No, you gotta call the geeks. So that term, geek and nerds, has changed. And now it's actually a cool thing to be a nerd and a geek. Me personally, I married a geek and a nerd. He's not so much into computers, but huge on video games. And I consider myself a nerd. So it's changed. It's a cool thing to be a nerd now because they're the ones who take care of the problems and stuff. So my point is being an ex-Jehovah's Witness, we are called apostates. Now, in the dictionary, apostate basically just means somebody who is no longer with the religion that they were once in. So if you were a Catholic, you are considered an apostate because you are no longer Catholic. If you are Baptist, Buddhist, whatever religion you belong to, simply no longer believing that means you're an apostate. But now with Watchtower, it's worse. You're an apostate, but you're mentally diseased. You tell half-truth and lies. And I don't want to criticize anybody, but I've seen a lot of apostates, ex-Jehovah Witness apostates. They're very angry. They don't like being called that. And you know what? That's your right to feel that way. But what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to change the meaning of it. Just like, way back when a geek and a nerd was a bad thing. Now it's a good thing. And I think being an apostate is a good thing. And the reason is because it shows you're a cult survivor. You know what? I'm happy and proud to be labeled an apostate. Because you know what? That shows other ex-Jehovah's Witnesses I'm a cult survivor. Just like when I see somebody else, they're like, oh yeah, I'm an apostate. Hey, we're brothers in arms. We both survived the cult. We escaped. So we don't have to accept the definition of apostate that Watchtower puts on us. I'll give you another example. Because of what I do for a living, I work with people who have various types of disabilities. I've worked with autistic people, blind, deaf, people who have learning disabilities. And because of the settings I find myself in, not directly working for somebody who has a disability, but seeing people with disabilities. I remember one time there was this young woman. She was confined to, I don't know, I can't think of the name of it, but one of those really high-tech wheelchairs, kind of like what Stephen Hawking's is in. And another example, Stephen Hawking's. He has these definitions or these labels attached to him. And while having labels is a good thing because then that means you're eligible for services, a lot of these people now who have these disabilities are not letting that label affect them. They are proving everybody wrong by saying, I can do these things. I might not be able to do them the same as you, but I can. I can still function as a human. And I think that's what we, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, now need to be doing. We need to prove Watchtower wrong. We are not going to let their label of apostate get to us. Because you know what? That is something you can decide to do. Just like these people who I've worked with who have disabilities. They have these labels, but they're proving everybody wrong. How? By doing things that people say they can't. So for us, being ex-witnesses, we need to show Watchtower, we need to show current Jehovah's Witnesses, and we need to show the rest of humanity that we are not going to allow this negative label affect us. We can prove them all wrong. And I've started noticing something. This is just my observation, my opinion. I want to make that clear. But I've noticed with a lot of the current Jehovah's Witnesses who are commenting on my parents' channel and who comment on other channels, I think we're starting to get to them. Because apostates, our lives are supposed to be ruined and we're supposed to be unhappy and hateful people. So you know what? We're proving them wrong because by our videos we're showing them, hey, you know what? Life is pretty good now. I mean, seriously, life is phenomenal now for my family and I. And I think it's starting to get to them and they can see, oh crap, that label of apostate, of being mentally diseased and, you know, I don't know, scum of the earth, not, you just having a bad life because you left Jehovah. So you know what, people? Let's prove them all wrong. So what if they want to call us apostates? I'm taking it as a good thing. For one, it shows, well, I'm a cult survivor. And two, hey, you know what? Call me an apostate, but I'm not going to act like this schema you have of an apostate or what an apostate should look like. You know what? We, as a ex-Jehovah's Witness community, we can change that definition of an apostate. So, all right, I'm going to cut this off so I can upload it quick and do all of that before I have to head to work. So, I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to come on because, school. So, anyway,